Let's step back a little bit and let's just review what is the idea, what's the architecture, how the software is built, and what are the advanced features that we're going to talk about today. So first of all, the idea behind this software is simply to trade the reemergence of momentum out of consolidation areas. And I keep repeating this as a mantra because this is crucial. We could have built any software to do anything, but if it doesn't map or track an edge as observed by market participants, then the whole thing is worth nothing. It's easy to write a software to calculate something, but if it's meaningless, then it's not going to get us where we want to be. So this software tracks an edge in a flexible but at the same time accurate and usable way, an observed behavior by market participants. This will be a software, obviously an algorithmic solution. The software is an algorithm. There will be room for human discretion, discretionary thinking, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. So the advantages, just to recap quickly, the algorithmic solution, first of all, is lightning fast. It is consistent, doesn't make a mistake. The mathematical calculations are done, and either it's a yes or a no, either it's a 1 or a 0, the software doesn't make a mistake. It is accurate and precise, doesn't get tired. It is just there and just does what it does without a fault. That's a tremendous advantage, especially on fast-moving, shorter time frames. Now, having said all that, there is always a trader, a skilled trader at that, who is required. And there are two things. One is that the software never takes away control from the trader. You're always in control. The software only helps you, but doesn't substitute you. At the same time, you can't look at it as a substitution of your own skills. You need to have the skills. And the way I put it here is that the software will calculate the right numbers at the right time, the right way, but a skilled trader will still be needed. One reason is that certain aspects of the market are hard to be quantified. So there's always room for human decision, but the heavy lifting is, to a large extent, will be done by the software. Okay, and now let's step on and talk about the advanced features. Mapping the edge is just one thing, but we need to add functionality to the software for two reasons. One is to make the mapping of the edge more accurate. And the other one, as you can see here, the last note on this slide, is to enhance usability, which means to make using of the software more convenient and more practical. And I think both are equally important. First of all, let's just talk about the first group first, signal counter. The signal counter counts the signals, the number of signals that are allowed to be taken in a certain trend. I'm just going to use this as an example, okay? Let's say this is a downtrend. And within this downtrend, in this area, there will be signals. We are more interested in a signal number maybe 234 rather than signal number 77, because by that time the trend might be weak and might be more liable to not to work and give us a loser. So that's the signal counter. Now, second one is directional filter. Directional filter means, again, I'm going to jump back to Ninja, but it's pretty straightforward. We trade in the direction of the trend, and that's what it is. So we want to trade with the trend, and that's what the directional filter is good for. I'm not saying that counter-trend trading cannot be successful, of course. There are many ways to trade successfully. This is not an opinion about any other style of trading. This is just what this methodology is all about. And by definition, we place trades with the trend and not against the trend. All right, the third one is the higher time frame filter. If you switch this on in the software, then what will happen is that you will be able to define a higher time frame. Let's say you're trading a 5-minute chart. Many people use a multiplier 3, 4, 5. Let's say a higher time frame is a 30-minute chart. Then what you will say is that, okay, I'm only interested in trades on the 5-minute chart, which are also part of a long trade or a long trend on the 30-minute time frame. So you're only trading in the direction of the higher time frame. But nonetheless, it is a feature of the software. You can experiment with it. You can switch it on, see how you like it, or off, see how you like it, and it is there for you, available for use. I put these in this list because these are relatively simple ideas. There's a little, this is my opinion, of course, but I shaded the next two a little bit more because these are more advanced concepts, and also software-wise, it is more elaborate to capture it in the code. One is the chop filter. For example, here, there is a pretty sideways area. And this is an area where we are not interested in trading. We are not interested in placing trades. So the chop filter, what the chop filter does, it will try its best, and it does a pretty good job. It tries its best to identify areas which are sideways, and it will filter out any potential signals that might be otherwise calculated by the mathematical code. And therefore, it will enhance and improve the efficiency of our trading system. Now, what is the buffer zone? And I'm going to load now. I'm going to run ahead a little bit and just load the Keltner and all the stuff. Here we go. So we just have the Keltner basically. And what the buffer zone does is we maintain the opinion or the conviction or the way we see the market is that price is our primary source of information. Now, how does that relate to the buffer? Because when we have a trend, everything's good, and then suddenly price touches the upper Keltner. Just imagine a situation where price just runs up here. This is a situation where we don't need to guess. What the buffer will do, this advanced functionality will do, we just simply switch off the signals until there is information given to us by the market as to what to do. The buffer watches price action. Obviously, the buffer is much faster than any indicator because by the time the indicator, anything else you look at, turns, that's 5 more bars and a couple of losing trades maybe. The buffer just switches off the system. Function number 1 of the buffer. That's already smart enough, but it even gets more smart. Because what happens if after that, let's say the market can go this way, the market can go this way, or the trend might resume and price might hit the lower Keltner again. All 3 situations can happen. The buffer is switched off at this point, the first circle. If it goes up, it will stay switched off as far as short trades are concerned. If it goes sideways, it will switch off. Why? Because of the chop filter. We just talked about it a minute ago. However, if it touches the lower Keltner again, then watch this. It will switch itself back on, and that's pretty smart because that means price action guides us, and that means that when we're at the lower Keltner, we are interested in short trades. These 5 functionalities or features of the software were included in the software to make the mapping or the realization of the edge inside the software more accurate. Now, let's spend a few minutes on the other categories. The following features here are just as important as the first group.